if it's between me and you, is that 2020 as a year has honestly been a crap fest. But it's something that, the past year I've come to appreciate is gaming more than I ever have beforehand. And it came to a point where I actually fell out of love for gaming within the past 3 years. Now, up to that point, I've mostly been playing multiplayer games slash or games that's like online where you have to play with other players, like for instance Call of Duty, Destiny, um, Fortnite for about the first year after it came out, at least the battle royale portion. Apex Legends, all these multiplayer slash BR games that's just literally killed my vibe for gaming. And it also came to a point where another thing that killed my vibe for gaming was my social and relationship status at the time. For the past 3 years, I was in a relationship that basically took the fun out of my life. It took the soul and heart on who I was as a person, per se. And I wasn't able to do the things I wanted to do. I wasn't able to, actually enjoy and immerse myself into games that actually mattered to me. Because growing up, that's all I played was single player games because multiplayer really wasn't a thing back then. But growing up, single player games have always been just what made me fall in love with gaming since the beginning. Playing all sorts of GameCube games, all sorts of PS3, PS4 games at the time. Just enjoying a lot of single player games. I have no issue with multiplayer games, but I was playing so much of them, I kind of felt out of touch. I was, typically with multiplayer games, you could play like a few minutes, or a couple hours, just enjoy yourself, and just, you don't have a lot of time to rush. When I was in this relationship, I was finding more things shorter to play, like, multiplayer games. I could play a few matches of COD, or I could play like maybe 2 or 1 game of a battle royale game, and be happy with that. And it came to a point where I'm constantly playing these games where everybody's just so competitive, so competitive and sweaty, and just literally just filled with competition, and people acting like they're trying to make money to compete. It honestly exhausted me with gaming. And jumpstart to 2019, not 2019, to 2020, where I lost my job. I lost that terrible relationship I was in, thank God. But then I also come to a fact, I'm like, what do I do in all of this free time that I have? And a game that I bought in, I think it was April of 2020, was the Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I know I've talked a lot about this game beforehand, but that was the first game I actually fell back in love with playing video games, surprisingly. Never touched a Final Fantasy game, never touched them, but I was always interested in 7. Always. I played that game maybe 3 times the first time I got it. And I was just like, I love this game. I love this game so much. I love the characters. I love the story. I can't wait for the next one. And it came down to a point where, I was like, maybe I need to step outside of my comfort zone. Step outside, play games that, that make me want to feel immersed in once again. Because growing up, I always wanted to play games. I wanted to be a part of this world or be this character in this world that is just like, it's fun, it feels good to play and enjoy. When you play a multiplayer game, when you play like crap, you don't feel like this superhero or like this awesome character that you're playing as. You don't, and you're never really around like important characters that make you feel like you're kind of a part of something. And I noticed that when I was playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, these characters, I love them so much. Jumping from Cloud, Aerith, Tifa, Barret, all these characters I absolutely love. And then a month maybe like in July of 2020, I played Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima was a fantastic action samurai game. It just made you feel like you were this, samurai that went down bad. Now he's using whatever means he can to defeat the enemy. It was such a, perseverance story that I got. I pretty much fell in a horrible depressive rut in 2020, having been lost my job, having been stuck in the house all the time, just worried about, diseases and everything. And I just felt like it was the lowest of the low for me. But playing Final Fantasy VII, Ghost of Tsushima, these games that have such compelling stories and such awesome characters, it strengthened me. And then, I've been playing some more games. I played Nier Automata this past month, and that game absolutely broke my heart. Not in a bad way, but in a good way. It made me feel like, why am I here? What am I supposed to do here? And it honestly made me really fall in love with the three characters in that game, 2B, A2, and 9S. Meeting these characters, playing as these characters, seeing their struggles, seeing the things that they went through, it honestly really touched my heart. And now recently, I've been playing another RPG game known as Persona 5 Royale. I got this game on sale like maybe, last year, and I've just now started playing it. I'm like 30 hours in. I'm thinking I'm going to do a separate video just talking about Persona 5 Royale. But so far, I am loving the characters, loving, that, I'm essentially, it's an RPG. I'm essentially Joker. I am in this position where, I'm thrown out of the loop, framed for something I did not do. And, I'm dealing with the consequences of it. And, this story is really kind of touching me in a sense, because even though I'm 30 hours in, I feel so invested. I feel like I'm the one going to school. I'm the one changing people's hearts and doing all this stuff. Why do I feel like that when I'm playing this game? Because these games are actually touching my heart, and this is honestly what made me fall back in love with gaming. I have nothing against multiplayer games. I really don't. I love them. If there's a good one that's going to come out, I'm going to play it and enjoy it. But at the core of my heart is single player, action oriented, story driven, or just anything that has me hooked in, and makes me feel like I'm immersed. And that's why I also think like Cyberpunk 2077 failed to immerse me into that world. You don't have to be a first person game to immerse yourself into a world. You really don't. I'm playing this RPG, this JRPG Persona 5, and I feel like I'm immersed. I feel like I'm the high school student that's playing this character Joker. I feel like I'm this character. It doesn't feel like I'm playing a character. Literally, Cyberpunk felt like I was just sitting here watching this character just suffer endlessly. And, I didn't really mind, playing Cyberpunk, but it didn't necessarily make me fall out of love of gaming. But it did, it gave me some perspective in a sense to let me know what kind of games I enjoy and how to stay in love with them. Because like I said, past 3 years, I've been falling out of love with them. I was in a relationship that was stopping me from doing the things I wanted to do in my free time. And it honestly really broke me and helped me realize that these games, fall in love with characters, immersing myself, making myself feel like I am this character, it makes me feel, honestly makes me love gaming again. And I'm so glad and so happy that, I am back on this journey, and I am back to being myself as a person that I grew up with. Now, speaking of competitive games, I always loved fighting games growing up, even now. And, there is a fighting game coming out this year called Guilty Gear Strive that I'm looking so forward to playing and just getting better in playing fighting games, man. I love fighting games so much, coming from Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, the Injustice series, I just love fighting games, dude. You know, maybe not all of them, but I grew up playing Street Fighter 2 on the Sega Genesis, and you know, I love the competitiveness of Street Fighter, not Street Fighter, fighting games. I love them. And you know, when I was in said relationship, I lost all my skills when it comes to fighting games. Like, when you play a fighting game, you have to dedicate a lot of time and energy into practicing and learning. I picked up mouse and keyboard easy on playing first person shooters, no problem. But something about fighting games, it's a different breed of its own. And I would like to get back on my skill level and get back into playing fighting games. And I want to make more videos about some fighting games, especially Guilty Gear Strive. So this is how I fell in love with video games. I love video games. Video games are going to be part of my life for as old as I can be. You know, I just have to be more selective in what I choose to play, you know? Just because everybody's playing this hot multiplayer game doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, I'm going to enjoy it. You know, I want to enjoy stuff I want to enjoy. And, you know, I don't want anybody trying to take away who I am and take away what I want to do. So anyway, if you guys are new here, make sure you like the video, subscribe. I do do gameplay videos, and I do stream on my Twitch channel. I haven't streamed recently because, simply put, multiplayer games is just sometimes, but you know, I do stream, and I plan on streaming single player and multiplayer games every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. So be on the lookout. Follow my Twitch channel where I do stream, you know, and play games, and we could just sit back, chill, play some games, have some fun, laugh, talk about stupid stuff or whatever. Anyway, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe, like the video. If you agree with anything, if you fell out of love of gaming and then fell back in because of 2020, please let me know, because in all honesty, I have never felt more happier playing video games and enjoying them like how I used to than when I was in this relationship, taking up so much of my time, just forcing me not to be who I was. So anyway, thank you all for watching the video, guys. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Stay safe out there, play your video games, and peace out.